when you're in high school or middle school or something, and you have a friend and you kind of like them, and you're listening to them describe somebody they like. It's this like kind of sinking feeling. I was always very sheltered. I never really dared to really express exactly how I felt about someone. So for this, I just wrote it, kind of this confession, into a song. I think the reason it's resonating is, I think it's two-pronged. I think maybe it's a sound that they haven't really heard before. It's kind of, infused with like these bossa nova and jazzy grooves that I think haven't really been at the forefront in pop music for a while. I think it's also just the brutal honesty of the lyrics. I think a lot of people have felt that way before. Don't you notice how I get quiet when there's no one else around? Me and you in awkward silence. Don't you dare look at me that way. I don't need reminders of how you don't feel the same. I talk a lot, but when I'm with someone I really like, I get quiet. And I guess I'm kind of addressing to this person. I'm like, don't you notice I get quiet when it's just the two of us and it's just me and you in awkward silence? And they're like looking at you kind of in a loving way, but not really. And you're like, don't look at me that way. It's just like a reminder that you actually can't have them. Oh, the burning pain, listening to you harp on about some new soulmate. She's so perfect, blah, blah, blah. Oh, how I wish you'll wake up one day. Run to me, confess your love, at least just let me say. I think this is the funniest verse. The burning pain, I kind of almost see it as this kind of like very, like, oh, burning pain, like almost like this period drama type of, of being upset over someone. And yeah, she's so perfect, like blah, blah, blah. Which I really enjoy putting lyrics like that into these like kind of jazzy songs, because it's like, it sounds like old music, but then like the blah, blah, blah lyric is very, very modern, I would say. That when I talk to you, oh, Cupid walks right through and shoots an arrow through my heart. And I sound like a loon, but don't you feel it to confess I've loved you from the start. I wanted the chorus to be this just straight up like confession of love that I would never actually dare to say in person. And that's where the craziness comes from. That speculation, like, wait, if I'm holding back and not telling you, maybe you're holding back and not telling me. I grew up listening to a lot of Ella Fitzgerald, and she was kind of like my singing idol. She is known as the originator of scatting in jazz music, of improvisational singing. I always had a dream of kind of bringing it back to this generation and bringing it back to pop music. I'm sure a lot of kids are listening and like, oh my God, why is she singing bada 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 for an entire verse? But it's fun. What's a girl to do, lying on my bed staring into the blue? Unrequited, terrifying love is driving me a bit insane. Have to get this off my chest, I'm telling you today. I kind of imagine this verse as like a 17-year-old me, like lying on my bed, just going crazy and staring out into the night sky, hence the blue. The blue definitely had a double meaning. It was both, literally staring out into the night sky and also like staring into like this sadness. Confess I loved you just thinking of you. I know I've loved you from the start. In jazz music, there's often a tag where, like, you know, you'll lengthen the outro, lengthen the ending. The lyrics will sometimes change, and I've always wanted to do that with my own music. So instead of confess I loved you from the start, it's just this very clear, I know I've loved you from the start. The music underneath kind of breaks away from this like upbeat bossa nova thing and just goes straight into like a classical cello ending, which I played. I had like a very specific classical reference that I wanted for it, and I almost wanted it to sound like a sunset. Well, scatting is like vocal freedom. You know, ad-libbing in R&B and like pop music is also kind of scatting. It's just different syllables. It's this kind of freedom in improvisation and singing that, you know, we think is reserved for instrumentalists only, but it's also for singers.